Today, we're talking about the Supreme Court's decision on whether domestic abusers can possess guns, the Biden and Trump campaigns' May fundraising numbers, 1,000 heat-related deaths during this year's Hajj pilgrimage, and other top news for Monday, June 24th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over today. Here's the quote of the day. We will not wake up 10 years from now and find we have passively taken on the character of God. Jen Wilkin. Let's get started with some espresso shots. In a near-unanimous vote, the Supremes affirmed a law that bars domestic abusers from possessing guns. Chief Justice Roberts, writing for the 8-1 majority, wrote that someone facing a restraining order may, consistent with the Second Amendment, be banned from possessing firearms while the order is in effect. Roberts further said that the country has always had laws preventing individuals who threaten physical harm from misusing firearms. Justice Thomas, the sole dissenting vote, said that the better way to disarm dangerous people is to prosecute them for criminal violence. President Biden praised the ruling, saying abuse victims shouldn't worry about their abuser getting a gun. In a statement, the NRA said the ruling doesn't endorse other unconstitutional laws that the NRA is challenging, only temporarily disarms someone who possesses a clear threat of violence. Our hope is never contingent on a Supreme Court case or what's happening in any news story. It's much more secure than that. As believers, we have reason to praise the perfect King of Kings. In all you do, seek to walk in his holy ways. 2 Samuel 22, verse 31 says, God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is pure. He is a shield to all who take refuge in him. The presidential contenders have balanced their checkbooks for May. Team Trump and the RNC raised $141 million, including $53 million in the 24 hours following his guilty verdict, and $50 million from billionaire Timothy Mellon. They ended the month with $235 million in the bank. Team Biden and the DNC raised $85 million, including $20 million from billionaire Michael Bloomberg, ending the month with $212 million in the bank. RFK Jr.'s independent campaign raised $2.6 million and has $6.4 million in the bank. It's the first time President Biden has lost the cash advantage. The Trump campaign says May's numbers show Americans saw right through his rigged trial, while the Biden campaign says Trump cannot buy back lost time. Expect a steady stream of your favorite TV genre, political ads, following Thursday's debate. Followers of Christ are not identified by where they make political donations, but by their love for others. And yes, that means loving people that you believe have unloving beliefs or stances. Jesus says in John 13, verse 35, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." This year's Hajj was very hot. The Hajj, a 5-day journey to the city of Mecca involving a series of rituals, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and every able-bodied Muslim is expected to complete it once in their life. It's consistently one of the largest gatherings in the world, this year attracting 1.8 million pilgrims to Saudi Arabia, where summer temperatures hit 117 degrees Fahrenheit. Over 1,000 pilgrims died from heat-related illnesses during this year's pilgrimage. Officials say many were visiting Mecca illegally without a visa to secure lodging to escape the heat. Back in the U.S., over 100 million Americans spent the weekend under a heat advisory, while the upper Midwest dealt with catastrophic flooding. Unrelenting rain flooded rivers in parts of Iowa and South Dakota, leaving only rooftops and trees visible. Here's a verse to consider when deadly heat and floods remind you that creation itself is broken. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. Revelation 21, verse 1.
The Every Woman's Bible is a study Bible for the heart and mind. Engaging study notes and devotionals address topics relevant to women in cultural, historical, and literary clarity and context to gain greater understanding. Over 100 Every Woman's Bible scholars, writers, and contributors, all women from around the world, invite you into a global community. Begin your journey today at everywomansbible.com. Tyndale's best-selling Every Man's Bible is also available.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Two of the greatest words in sports. Game 7. This year's Stanley Cup, no, not the one you're drinking from, comes down to one final game. If the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Florida Panthers tonight, they'll become the first champions since 1942 to overcome a 0-3 deficit. For the Panthers, they're hoping to avoid losing back-to-back finals. They are the champions indeed. Sony snagged rock band Queen's back catalog for a record $1.27 billion. The only rights Sony will not retain in the deal are those of live performances, since guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor still tour as Queen. This follows Sony's recent $600 million acquisition of half of Michael Jackson's back catalog. The Washington Post's incoming executive editor has removed himself from circulation. Robert Winnett, who was hired to lead the newsroom, withdrew his acceptance after WAPO reporters published an article alleging their would-be boss had engaged in unethical journalism practices early in his career. Winnett will remain in a lead role at the Daily Telegraph in London. Service workers may get to keep the change. Senator Ted Cruz introduced a bill to exempt tips from federal income tax after former President Trump promoted the idea at a campaign rally. The idea is gaining steam among Republicans. Critics say it's a fake solution that won't help most low-wage workers, suggesting Congress raise the minimum wage instead. Housing prices just keep going up. The median price of an existing home rose 5.8% over the last year to $419,300. One bright spot for buyers, home inventory, aka the number of for sale signs, jumped 18.5% from last May. If sustained, having more houses for sale should slow price gains and improve affordability. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday.